All right, everyone come to a change of position, back straight, point your fingers, curl your thumbs, soles back, good bow. All right, let's warm up, swing those arms down in some circles, make some nice big circles with those arms, get them nice and loose. All right, let's get some jogging. So I'm gonna jog in a circle, I'm gonna chase Mr. Anderson, see if I can catch him. If I catch him, I get to choke him. Choke day. It's a new game. All right, crisscross. Cross those feet. Belly out, crisscross. Go slow enough. Let's just come to me. Back to jogging again. Take those arms out. All right, lunges. Let's go. Big step. Step out. Lunge. Shake them out a little in between. Nice and low. Back straight. One more time. All right, let's do some body squats. So we're just gonna have that back straight, shoulders back, feet forward, a little bit outside your shoulders, squatting down. All right, if you got bad knees, turn your toes out a little bit. Makes it a little bit easier. Put your feet farther apart, then your legs aren't at quite the same angle. Pretty good in shape, get them right underneath you. Squatting up and down. We're just going for time. But the bad news is my water is blocking the clock. So we're just gonna have to go until I can guess what time it is. Up and down. One more. All right, let's have a seat. We're gonna do some in-place stripping because a lot of people at home watching really don't have the space to go across the ground. So I put my feet down by my butt. I lean onto my side so the balls of my feet are touching the floor, and I try to pivot on my shoulder and move my butt back, right? Try to form this nice little 7 shape. Bring my body back. Roll to my other side. Pivot on my shoulder, ball my foot on the floor. Lift my butt and rotate on my shoulder. And then pull myself back and switch. All right, bridges. So I'm just looking back. I look over my right shoulder. I reach my left hand out. Look the other way. Lifting my seat up as high as I can, looking back, trying to see how far back behind me I can reach. Let's do some egg beaters. So taking your legs, making a circle, other foot circle, same time. Just like an egg beater. And then the other way, rotating out. Working them together. All right, crunches. Let's go, lift those shoulders up. Breathing out through your mouth, into your nose. Lifting those shoulders off the ground. All right, leg lifts. Let's go. Switching them, right foot up, left foot down, and switching. Two more. 1 and 2. All right, relax. Let's get a little stretch. Pull that knee all the way across your body, lay flat on your back. Get that back stretched out for today. Add another knee across your body. Roll back. See if you can touch toes behind your head. So you roll back, touch those toes. Down in front. All right, hop on up on your butt. Let's get the legs stretched out a little bit, get some more flexibility in our legs. So 1 foot in, 1 foot out, back straight, chin up. Rotate yourself into that stretch. Trying to get down into that leg, get it flexible so we can move it around today. And the other way. So what we're working on this month is our expectations. In 12 months of Jiu-Jitsu training, what is our expectation or outcome? So we've got to figure that out. Expectation is something you strongly believe will happen. So that's what I want you to know, is the answer to that question. Next, I want you to start to figure out, what kind of goals do you have to set and straddle position, to figure out how to get that expectation to not just be an expectation, but your reality. So, maybe your goal is to get a belt. Okay, well, then some more goals have to be to get a certain number of class hours in, right? To learn a certain amount of curriculum, okay? And then the way we do that is we attend class, or we watch the videos, or whatever we have to do. We get our practice time in, we get our repetition. So once we figure out what has to happen to make the expectation a reality, or we can make it into a goal we can achieve, the next step is to start to figure out what kind of obstacles, right, or what kind of challenges are we going to face along the way that could slow us down or stop us from achieving our goal, right? Right now, a good example would be COVID. Obviously without live classes, it's a little bit harder to be motivated to take the online class. So that'll be something that we have to now figure out. What do we do? How do we make ourselves go to online classes to keep ourselves practicing? How do we make ourselves practice at home? And that's kind of one of those obstacles. So that's what you're working on this week, is start to figure out what kind of obstacles are either currently in your way or would be in your way again, and then start to create a plan for how we're going to work around them. Trying to get those hips nice and loose. Let's do a butterfly stretch real quick. Bring those feet together, bounce those knees. If you just kind of sit back and think, oh, this is going to happen or this is going to happen, but you don't have a plan, then maybe it will, right? Like that if you touch something hot, you're going to get burned. I mean, that's a pretty good expectation, right? But what we want to have is, a clear expectation of what we want to happen, what we think is going to happen, and then set up all the different things we need to do to make sure that they actually do happen. Right? I want to graduate high school, but I'm going to sleep in all day. I don't think that works. It wouldn't work for me. All right, let's get started. So what we're going to do is go to a mount position. So we're going to just imagine that we're in mount. So we're sitting up tall. I have a person underneath me. We're first going to get a lot of repetitions on some basic stances and movement before we do it on a partner. Okay, because this way we don't have all this time squishing our partner that we don't need. So this is mount. I would have my knee on each side of my opponent. Have my hands down, right? I'd be trying to even just put my chest right in their face, right, like pancake style. We're going to be sit up tall. So here's what I'm looking at is I'm on top of the person, and for this purpose, we're going to imagine that our person underneath us is turning sideways. So you can practice on a pillow or a cushion or something, that's fine. We can just practice on the air like we're doing. I'm going to imagine this person I'm sitting on who's facing upward is turning their belly that direction, towards your left, my right. What I'm going to do is take my right hand, I'm going to turn it, okay? Put my left hand here, bring my knee up, then step my right foot up like this. This is called top modified mount. We're going to call it top modified mount. So this person's belly would be facing that way. So we're going to first kind of work on this concept, and then we're also going to take it into a submission a little bit later. I'm going to back up so you can see me better. So we're on our knees, and I'm going to imagine continuously that they're turning their belly this way. So I'll keep turning the hand on that side, the same direction their belly would be pointing. Put my other hand up where I believe their head would be. Weight on my hands. Knee comes up to my hand. My foot goes up on the belly side. Okay? Once I get to this position, I would post a hand out behind and post a hand out front, and I would get low again, trying to smother and create no space. Let's go backwards. So you get some repetitions on top modified, and I'll kind of show you a little bit of how we'd be using this, and then we'll do our submission today. So hand, knee, foot. And if you're good at this, we're obviously going slow because we're trying to help you learn. If you're good at this, right, just hop in position. Now if you're on a carpet or a mat or a rug or something, and the top of your foot slides across like a bare foot, you'll get a nice big rug burn on the top of your foot, so be careful when you're trying to hop, either until you toughen up your feet or you learn not to drag them. All right, I'm going to turn at an angle just so you can see a little bit. So ready? Hand, knee, foot, low. And again, one more time. So ready? Hand, bringing my knee up, my foot, low, basing my hands. All right, let's do the opposite direction. So I'm going to face this way again first. My opponent is turning their belly this way in my brain. I put my hand down, put my hand by their head. I go knee by the head, foot by the belly. Hands face out. The reason I have my hands down is if someone's pushing on me, pulling on me, my hands, right, can stop me whichever direction is they're trying to push me. They're like kickstands. So those hands are very important, okay? So we're back in mount again. Person turns, hands, weight on your hand, knee, foot, hand base, right? Kickstands. Make sure you're not going to get knocked over. Again, ready? So we're in mount. Person turns, hop, foot. All right. I think we have it. Mr. Anderson, you think they have it?
Yes, sir.
We're not gonna stop at this point and pause. We're gonna pretend you have it and keep moving. So Mr. Anderson's gonna go on his back. I'm gonna mount him, right? So I'm sitting on top in a mount position, right? My legs are on the side of his body. I'm here, my chest is nice and low, and maybe I'm in a street fight and I'm trying to hit him and he doesn't like it, so he rolls. He's trying to roll onto his belly. Keep going, yeah, right? They're trying to roll and turtle up would be the mentality, or they're trying to turn to do like elbow escapes, where you'll go an elbow escape, sure. So he goes here, he starts pushing my foot out, and he starts to escape. So maybe he's turning to elbow escape. Any reason he's turning, it's not good for me to stay center mounted up like that, right? And I want to stay my top mount the way I am. So I'm here, and he starts to turn, right? I shift. My knee goes by his head. My foot is on his belly. So if we rotate, sir, right, you can see how my foot's on his belly, and I'm back behind. But I'm not there's no weight on him. See this? My leg is just over, and it's hugged to his belly. It's tight, I'm pinching. And I'm here like this. So I'm not trying to sit on him. I'm sitting behind him. So now, realistically, if he keeps trying to do stuff, right, then we can start to look at other kinds of submissions. Not the ones we're going to do today. I just like this one, okay? We should do that one. Not today, though. Okay, so this is S mount. So I want you to practice with a partner now. So I'm going to do about 5 reps. Mr. Anderson will do 5 reps. And then we're going to move on. Right, so top modified mount when he turns. He goes, boom, right? We're setting up our S mount position through learning top modified. Oh, I switched it on you, went the other way. All right, it's a great way to learn how to take the back. You want to take the back from there, it's pretty easy. Right, we go here, we just start to get a hold, bring them over, body locks, lots of fun stuff. All right, go ahead, sir, hop up on top. So Mr. Anderson, give about 5 reps. And we'll use that motion. I'll kind of change to something else so you can actually understand what we're doing. So I turn. Oh, yep, nice. Getting inside. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. All right, I think we got it. All right, so that's top modified. Just a little quick lesson on what that is. Give you some knowledge about what to do if the person turns. But now, we're going to start to look at a very similar motion, but I want you to know that first so it makes sense where I'm trying to get you to. Because when the arms and stuff are in the way, it makes it a little bit harder. So now if we just pretend we're back in mount again, right? So I'm in mount, and what I'm going to think about is I have an arm. I'm going to say the arm on this side, and I'll show you how I'm going to do it. So I have an arm. I'm going to try to lift this arm up, right? So this is the arm I want to attack. So I'm going to try to lift it up as long as it's not pinned to the floor. As long as the elbow's up a little bit and I can get underneath it, that's all I need. So I have the elbow up. Maybe it's on top of my knee. Now watch what I do. I'm going to start to take my knee and slide it up, and I'm going to turn my body. Slide it up, throw it. I'm trying to get to the same position. My foot's going to come up like before, but watch what I do. I'm going to turn so you can see this. Okay? Instead of keep my foot like this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up pulling up the other arm, and I'll show you in a second, and I walk my foot to this position. So now I'm actually making an S with my legs, right? This is where that butterfly stretch I showed you earlier comes in because you start to get your hip flexors, okay? So watch again. I'm in mount. I start to walk my knee up really high by the head, same concept. I put my foot up. Keep it real tight to the body, and I walk. So I take my toes, and I walk my toes, walk my heel, until my leg is in S mount. So let's work on getting to S mount. I'm going to show you once just so you get a visual of what's happening, and then we're going to practice, and then we'll kind of see if you're doing it right before we move on. And I'm going to have you, yes, thank you, sir. So I'm up in mount, right? And if his elbow is on the floor, I wouldn't want to try to do it on this arm. What I need is it kind of here. And for a setup, let's say he gets his elbows on the floor, he's looking at defending. If I start to grab at his neck, that usually brings the arm up, okay? So if I start to grab at him, right, then I can start to walk up. I just need that elbow up in the air. So I'm gonna go up on this side though. So I walk my knee up, right? I have my hands, I'm walking. When I get here, I turn, and my foot goes here. I have to pull this arm up out of the way, and I walk this leg. You can kind of see how now it's going to cross. Now my knee's not down, because this is my partner, not my opponent, and I'm sitting behind him. If this was a match, right, if we were being competitive, I would be sitting on his solar plexus way up here, trying to put pressure on him. I'm using my hand, I'm still being nice. but I would have my hip driving into a solar plexus. So right now, I'm doing this top modified for my partner's sake and walking. So now he doesn't feel any weight, right? There's no weight on him. Like I said, this is bad if I want this to really work. It's good for getting repetition so we understand how to do it without my partner hating me all day. Cool? Okay, so I'm gonna do a couple of these real quick, and then you can watch. So I'm here, I start to get the arm up, I start to walk, I slide, here, walk my foot. I think that's it, that's how we got it, right? Mr. Anderson will do once, give you a little bit different angle, and then we're gonna watch and see if you guys can get it. All right, so he's got an arm up, he starts to walk up, he turns the angle, then he starts walking his other foot. Oh, nice and tight, like a little package. Yep, I think we got it. All right, so at this point, if you are not live with us, if you're watching this on a rerun, this is where you pause, you get your repetition, and after you're good at it, you come back. Live people, this is where we watch you until you get it right, and then we come back. All right, welcome back to the people who just did 100 repetitions, because I know that's how many you did before you went pause. When we get up and we turn the corner, we want to be as tight to this person as we can, so it means we have to get up. So, can you have you go down, sir? So, awesome. So, what I'm going to show you is, I'm going to go on this arm this time. So, when I walk up, see how like my knee is here and my belly's kind of facing this direction instead of across him? And that's awkward on this leg to try and get this leg to come around fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep myself down. I'm going to try to get way up here. I want to get way up on the side of him. So if I'm way up here on him and he lifts his hips to try to fuck me off, lifts his butt, I don't get moved very much, right? If I'm on his belly here and he lifts up, I get moved, right? So I don't want to be there, because remember this point here where his shoulders are, when he lifts his butt, this point doesn't go any higher. It's the hinge point. So when I come up here, I want to be way up here. Way up on his body, super high. So that's going to be really important that my belly button is way up here by his shoulders. That'll be something we're trying to key up on. Okay, so now let's move on. Let me talk about another thing. You can sit up and say, sir. So when I'm taking this foot and walking around, when I want to invert this foot here and get underneath the arm, what I have to do is I'm going to make a big net. I'm going to scoop and I'm going to catch both arms, one arm, but I have to have this forearm. And I'm going to scoop it up, because they're going to want to keep their elbow down and they're going to want to escape. So I'm going to try to get this foot underneath them. So I make a big net, right? So I get the knee by the head, I rotate the body, and then I get a big net and pull up on the arm. So let me show you again with a person. Good, thank you, sir. So we're here, right? I walk this knee up really high. I start to turn the corner. And at this point, I'm going to make a big net. Now, he might have his hands together. He's trying to stop me, right? Don't try to separate. I can't pull his hands up. He's going to pull in. Just grab this far elbow and pull. Yeah, don't let me pull your hands apart. Watch. If I pull on this elbow, I can wrap that foot. I don't care if he keeps his hands together. I can show you how to break that motion. That's not hard to get rid of. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to practice going here. I'm sitting on the side. This is my partner. I'm just sitting on my foot. Right? I'm off to the side of him. I'm sitting here like this, right? Sit on my foot, nice and comfortable. He keeps his elbow down, right? So I can't get my foot in, because then he can block my leg off, shuck it out of the way, and escape. So what I'm doing is he's got his arms and elbows in. I'm reaching up, grabbing his elbow, pulling, and then wrapping my leg, putting my foot back to this position. Grab the arms, rotate the leg, right? So another thing is, when he's got his arm down tight, if I try to pull, so if I grab, watch, I'm going to grab and I'm going to pull. When I do this, it's pretty easy for him to pull, because he's pulling down the opposite direction I'm pulling up, right? It's very easy for the muscles to know. I want to confuse the muscles. So when I want to pull up on his arm, instead of making one constant pulling motion, I go like this. Shake. So if you get a person who's pretty strong, right? All I do is I get a hold of this elbow, or I just grab onto his gi if he's got a sleeve, right? And he keeps his arm down. I pull real tight, he pulls real tight. Doesn't do anything. I shake. I get it in there. Shaking is a lot of fun. You jackhammer people. See how that works? It's called jackhammer, right? So I'm going to sit here like this. I get over the top. I grab this arm. And if he starts to resist, I just shake it. I get my foot turned so I can practice squishing. But again, this whole time I'm sitting on my foot. I don't have any weight on his chest yet. We'll have Mr. Anderson do some reps. If you have it, start getting reps. If you don't have, watch and pay attention. Oh, yeah. So he's got that. He wants that leg in position. I'm trying to block it. He starts pulling up. Yeah. Oh, nice and tight. Good. Starting to get it down. Yeah, let's do a wrong one. Just try to pull. Just pull for strength. Yeah, that's my right arm. That one still works. Yeah. Right, and after you shake it up, you can then attach to the elbow too. So you can shake it up. Let's do it one more time. Shake it up and then attach to the elbow. So start shaking it out. And keep your arm straight. Yeah, now now grab the elbow. And then get that foot tight. Awesome. Okay. We want to watch real quick. See our live people, see if they got it right. So again, if you're not live with us, pause. 100 repetitions, and then maybe not 100. 99 repetitions. You're on sale today, and then come back. All right, welcome back. Let's do the kick over. So we're gonna start in our S-mount position. So I'm gonna have this knee here. I'm gonna be sitting on this foot right now. I'm gonna have this foot out, and I'm gonna invert it. So I'm sitting in my S position. So I have a person underneath me. Obviously they're not this small, they'd probably be wider like this, but I'm gonna be right here for now. This leg here that's by the head has to step over them. If you're super flexible, right, you can do this just fine, right, without having to adjust your spine. If your hips aren't like Gumby karate teachers, then what you probably have to do is lean a little bit. And the leaning is great because it drives our hip bone into their solar plexus. So what's going to happen is I'm going to have a hold of these arms. I'm going to hug. My north hand, which is the head side, is going to hug the arms, is going to hold on to them. My other hand's going to grab onto their knee because this way if they start bucking, I can hold on like the reins of a horse. And I'm going to lean. Now when I lean, this foot should be able to come over really easy without any flexibility because look, it's straight down. It's actually not a hard position. I'm going to put it on the other side of their head and then I'm going to squeeze their brains, my head. I'm not going to squeeze that hard. I'm going to see the brains. My foot's going to be here. So we're going to get an S-mount position. Our north hand, which would be whatever knee is imagined by their head, scoops the arms. I'm going to grab the leg. I'm going to lean to that side. Kick over the top. Heel close to the head. Come up top right. Okay? And we can finish from there. We can actually finish from our lean position too. Okay, ready? One more time, I'll show you again, then we'll do person. I'm up on top. I scoop, and if I'm just holding like this, it might be strong, so I like to grab onto my own uniform if I can't get a hold of something worthwhile on them. I grab the leg, I lean into him, I kick my foot over the head, heel by the head, and come upright. All right, I'll show you on a person. I'll get a couple reps. Mr. Anderson, do a couple reps. If you get this, go ahead and just get started. If you want to watch, we're going to show you for that purpose. Right, so I'm here. I got the arm. I turn the corner. I start to pull up on this arm here. So at this point, I switch my south hand off, my north hand on. So the side that's on his head is holding these arms because I don't want them to disappear. I'm going to reach over and grab his knee. Now, since this is my partner and I'm going to go slow, I'm not going to just hold on to his knee and ride his belly. I'm going to put my hand on the floor. The floor is bad. Don't do this when you do it for real, but when you're trying to help your partner survive and not squish their guts out, put your hand on the ground. Now my weight's in my hand. I lean this way, and I can walk this leg over and get it right next to his head. Then I sit next to him. When I sit next to him, you can move this arm, sir, right? So what's happening is this arm is up in the air, and I'm pushing. My hips are right up against his tricep. I'm trying to push his arm this way. Because when I fall back to break it, if his arm can't move, it'll break. If his arm can fall down here, nothing will happen, right? Because his shoulder will lift up and he'll start to move out of the way. So I'm trying to now squish. I'm going to go here. Now, I do this drill a lot in class, is once we get here, my foot stays in his armpit, my foot stays in his head. I put my hands behind me and I push my butt towards him. I don't ever try to pull my feet towards me because that's dragging his butt across the ground. I'm going to push my butt towards him. Now, he can try and get out all he wants, and I'm tight. If he scoots away from me, there you go. And I try to pull him back, I can't. But I can just keep scooting close. This makes the submission super easy to get. Okay? I'm going to show you another angle. So let's turn 90 degrees. So let's actually we'll go a little further, another 45. Okay. So I'm up on top. Start with that. I take this arm, I push it over, I get my knee up. I walk the corner. I grab this arm here, pull up, I get my foot inverted. I switch so my north hand comes around and gets both arms. I would normally grab his pant leg, but I'm going to put my hand on the floor. I lean, I walk my foot out, and I sit right next to him. If he tries to scoot away, I just follow him. I'm pushing my butt to my feet, not my feet to my butt. Okay? That's the position we get in. Once you learn that, we can do the submission. All right. Mr. Anderson gets his repetition, starts a mount, gets an elbow up, runs the corner, lifts the other arm, gets underneath, leaves over the head, and he squishes. If I try to scoot away, he just keeps pushing to me. So loosen up your legs a bit. If I start to get out, so I can get, no. I'm trying to get my elbow to the floor. If I get my elbow to the floor, I'm free of the submission. So if he tries to pull his feet back to his seat, he's not moving me. If he scoots his butt closer, yep, I can't get my arm to the ground. So we're making sure we always move us to them in this situation. Unless they're like 150 pounds less than you, then just, I guess, just pull them across the ground. Yeah, so he's right up against my tricep, because if my elbow gets to the floor, I win. If he doesn't, he wins. All right. Awesome. So again, 100 reps, and we'll be right back. All right, so welcome back, Ninja Roll. Mr. Anderson's on the ground. I'm going to show you the submission aspects. We're going to skip over the whole belly squishing, see what he had for lunch aspects. We pull up on the arm, right? We switch, we convert, and I sit. So remember, I just said we want to sit real close. My head, my foot here is going to control his head. Now, if he tries to sit upright, right? If he tries to sit upright, this is bad for me. And this is what people will do, is they'll grab onto your legs. They'll bring their feet, oh, gotcha. They'll bring their feet straight up in the air, and then they'll try to swing themselves up. And that would be good for him. If they try to do that, watch your face. When he tries to sit up, let's go slow. I lock this leg down. I pull my toes back and I lock my leg, and it stiff arms him back there. Now be careful if you do this to your partner, because it'll slam their head back in the mat sometimes, right? The harder he tries to go against my leg, the more rubber band he gets, bang, I lock him back down. So that's real easy. But otherwise, if I stay close, he can't move left and right. He can sit up because his head's free. I just straighten my leg and drive his head down. And I'm trying to remember what they call it. Shotgun? Shocker? Something? Taser? Called taser. So what'll happen is sometimes when they try to sit up, you can go here and just, yeah, you just keep chopping back and forth, a little more violence. Keeps them still. But for the submission, we're going to grab this arm here. And I'm not going to do a grip break yet. He's going to grab just like this. I'm going to grab like I'm grabbing onto a baseball bat. And I want his thumb to point away from me. I'm going to pull it tight to my body, and I'm going to slowly lower myself down, and he should get the tap. I should never be able to touch my back to the floor. If I touch my back to the floor, it's because his shoulder lifted, yep, and he rotates his body away. No, rotate away from me. See how his arm is up now? So when I'm flat on my back, I'm here because his shoulder's off the ground. If I stay super close and I keep him tight, now he can't get his shoulder up, right? If I keep the shoulder down, then his arm is going to snap because it can't go any farther. But if I let him lift his shoulder and rotate his body, yeah, you see how his shoulder's up? I can pull his arm straight, it doesn't do anything. So I'm trying to keep him nice and flat. And then what happens from here when I go back, I just keep this close. I don't want to fall back here and then pull it to me. That's not good because it's the arm strength. Some guys will just curl and lift you right back up. So I pull it to me. And you'll see people do this with their arms. Trap their arms like this. Just grab here. Just grab. Because if I go here, he can start turning his thumb. He'll turn his thumb over. Start doing hitchhikers, right? But if I grab his wrist, he can't turn his thumb. Right? I can even grab his hand and say, oh, handshake. But I don't want to let the thumb turn. I go here. I fall back real slow. When I get the tap, let go of their arm right away. If your back touches the floor, you did something wrong. Okay? So go ahead and start in that sideways position. Mr. Anderson rep out some. And just start busting the arm. Be ready to tap early. Yep, so he's just going to kind of get to his first position, and then he'll just get some taps right from there. So he steps over. If I try to sit up, he locks his leg. Oh, that's not fun. Gets my hand, and every once in a while I try to turn my thumb just to see if he's holding it right. So he keeps his butt scooted super tight to me. Yeah, good. And then just hugs it to his chest and lays backwards. Gets the break on the elbow. Ouch. And you can see he doesn't have to fall all the way back. And he's got the good mechanics because he's keeping himself really close and tight into my shoulder. My shoulder can't lift up. Right? I can't take my arm and try to lift and get out of there. I can't turn my thumb. And then it just pops the elbow joint. All right. So we know how to get to position. We know how to finish it. Start getting reps, tap early, partners. Don't be a jerk about it. We're going to watch a live people come back and show you one more aspect about this fun thing. Cool. Okay, we're back. Superhero entrance. Okay, Mr. Anderson's gonna be down. I'm going to show you something. Listen for gurgle sounds. So what happens is normally we were sitting, like I was sitting over here, I'm going to find a solar plexus. There's like that little spot in the middle they hate when you tap. So it's right in the center of his body. I'm going to drive my hip into it. I'm not going to be mean about it. I'm just going to make sure I'm not nice about it, right? So we're here, and I got his elbows up, and I start to attack, and he gets his elbow up. I slide up here. I scoop this, get the turn. Now I'm sitting over him. You can see it's a little bit different. My hip is around his solar plexus, so I scoop this arm, and I grab his leg, right? And then I go back. Now I can finish him right here. I could get this arm here, and I could stay right back here and get the finish. I don't have to get up to this perpendicular. Once I get the arm, then I could stay here. I can hug this leg, make it a little harder for him to escape, because he's going to want to bend his arm, grab his leg, step this foot over, and run away. That's how he gets out, right? Where he swings himself up. By controlling that leg, I can keep him out. So that's kind of a fun way to do it. If I can have you back here, sir. So number one, sit right on your partner's solar plexus. And when you lean, you drive your hip down into their solar plexus, and they just hate life for that short amount of time. The next thing is when I'm here, right, I got this arm scooped, right, I'm here. And if I'm up on top like this, I don't even have to. See what I do this leg? I step this foot over, and I kind of just hook his head. So I go here, I'm on the ground with my hands, so I'm kind of being nice. And I hook his head. Now from here, I can get the tap. I can hug this to my body, right? I can grab it. And what I can do is I kind of, excuse me, sir, I'm gonna have you step out of there because I don't want to break something. In this position here, what I'm doing, to watch what I do, I push my hand on the ground, and I do this. I can shove my hips right through his arm. So I can finish him right on top. I don't even have to get to the floor. It's all about understanding how that joint works. One more time, sir. Oh, he wants to change arms. All right, so I'm here, right? And I've got this arm here, right? Does that make sense? And I'm controlling this because I don't want this elbow getting underneath my foot, right? That's why I lift that up. So I keep it here. And let's say he gets his hands together, gets his hands real tight together. I step over him in this position. In this situation here, don't try to pull the hands off. Grab the far elbow. So, yep, don't let me. I grab the far elbow and I pull. Now, if they get both hands together, see how both his hands are together? Then I just pull both arms. I'll still get the submission, or he'll let go and then I'll get the submission. So that's probably one of the easier ways to do this. There are other ways we can hook the arm. I can step here with my heel, pop the grip this way. That's one option. There's other ones where you can make a little crowbar, go north and south and get it. There's lots of options we can get into, but the key I want you to practice is practice getting to this position, learning to get your weight onto their solar plexus. I have my hand on the floor again because I'm just sitting here talking. But normally I'd be driving, and I'd be scooping, getting my foot around, right? Once I get it tight, then I go to the ground on the side, and then I try and get this submission. So go through the whole one. If any of those small opportunities come up that you saw me doing, you can play with those. So I'm going to Mr. Anderson get a couple reps for a minute or so, and then I'll stop and watch from start to finish people getting the submission. All right, let's go. Yes, mounted arm locks. Oh, there you go. See what the difference when you raise it up. Yeah, and just pull that right to your chest. Nice. Nice. All right, one more, sir. One more. Excellent. All right. So hopefully that makes sense. We're gonna quickly just pause and watch the live people. Then when we come back, all we'll be doing is bowing out. So if you're not live, the next time you see us, we'll be standing up bowing out. Live people, let's really quick see, make sure you have it down. And at this point, what I would do is if you're not live, just pause, get some repetition on the whole one for a while. And when you're done, then help us with a good, respectful bow. All right, let's come to attention. So paying attention, hopefully that kind of helps. We first started by doing a top modified mount because I think it's a good position for you to learn, but also teaches you how to get up nice and high and around the ankle, understand your knee position. Kind of helps you with a little bit of understanding that foot invert. S mount, make sure you sit right on their solar plexus unless you have a cooperative partner and then they're being nice, sit on the floor. But if it's competitive and they're trying to get out, sit on their solar plexus, right? Get your head down by their leg. When you grip the arm, try not to hug it. It does allow people to get out. Grab their wrist when you go for the actual submission. And remember, the tighter you are to their shoulder, the more success you're gonna have with the arm lock. All right, change position. Back straight, point your fingers, square your thumbs. Have a good bow. And as usual, thanks for joining us. High fives. Corona fives. Just got Corona.